Hello everybody, welcome back to another one of my NFT videos. Thanks for stopping by. I think I'm about 4 weeks into my kind of journey with these NFTs. It's been really interesting. I've enjoyed it. I'll review quickly and talk about where I'm at. So I kind of think of it as two different plays into the NFT. And there's a lot of different NFT marketplaces and there's a lot of different ways to invest. For me, I am focused on the Ecomi and VeVe app. Ecomi is the company, VeVe is the app running on your phone. So on the Ecomi token side, as I had mentioned, I think last time I talked, I think I had about 750,000, and now I've been able to purchase about 1.1 million of those tokens. Once again, sounds very impressive, but really it's not that much money. And there's been some movement upwards. It's almost like kind of buying a stock. We'll see. There's some other complicated things going on underneath the scenes, technical things I can barely understand. You're moving to another exchange and all these other things. But I think that's one way that I could make some money if those tokens increase in value, kind of like Bitcoin, as Bitcoin goes up. And then the second half of the kind of equation, if you want to call it, is the NFTs themselves. As you know, there are comic NFTs and there are collectibles, is what I call them, like little 3D statues or whatnot. And I've purchased both. I'm really attempting to study and understand the marketplace. It's really not as volatile as I may have thought, especially when you kind of understand it. And but there's a number of things you definitely want to look at. So the comics themselves drop, Tuesdays and Thursdays, it seems like. And this week is a good week. They just had a fantastic 4-1 drop today. I'm filming this Tuesday, excuse me. I'm filming this Tuesday. I don't even know my days. And with the intent to push this live tomorrow morning. And Thursday, this is why I did it early, is, I believe, the day they're dropping Daredevil 1. So I thought if anybody wanted to try and take a shot at it, it's 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific. You got to be on. You got to have purchased your gems, and it'd be about $7, and so you could take a shot at it. They sell out within 1 second, and I'm not even exaggerating there. So you literally have to sit there at the buy button. When it ticks, you hit buy, and now you have, I think I've heard between 500 and 700,000 people are buying different things when the drop happens, and so most likely there'll be 60,000 of them available, and you just try and win the lottery and get one. And if you really win the lottery and get an ultra rare one or something like that, you could immediately turn around and sell that thing for hundreds of gems. So that's kind of exciting. As I mentioned in one of my videos, I was able to win the Throg ultra rare one, and so I did. I was able to exchange that for 500 or 600 gem profit, which was great. But herein lies the next thing I want to talk about, which I've done more research into. So really the play here is, and I'm only talking about the NFTs, is in my mind, and I'm simplifying it, is two pieces. One is buy the NFT, hold it long, pray it doubles, triples, quadruples, etc. Sounds like comics, right? The other play is to flip it. It's funny because I think I have a video where I said comic flipping is bad. But anyways, let's talk about it here. So flipping it, of course, when you're looking at that, you have to really look at two things. And you have to have a good understanding of those. One is, what is the range? Does it drop to, I'll just give some examples. Does it drop to $70 and then move to 100 and oscillate back and forth? What is the pattern that it has here? These are, normal things that normal flippers look at. And then the other thing is, of course, the frequency. Does it oscillate from $70 to $100 every day? Does it oscillate from $70 to $100 once a month? Because obviously that makes a huge difference, because if you're, let's just pretend you wanted to try and make $10 a day. Well, if it was oscillating once a month, and it's going to go from 70 and potentially up to 100, you buy at 70 and then you have to wait a month, you're not going to be able to meet your what you're attempting to do $10 or a day. I also remember there was a video which I always remember this primarily because a different friend of mine told me this, which is, once again, when you're dealing with things and you're making $10 a day or $20 a day, I mean, it's kind of exciting, but $10 a day, I mean, you could just get a second job and do some of that. So you got to always look at what you're doing. Now I'm doing it, I find it amusing and fun, so that's kind of why I'm looking at it. Okay, what's the second part of it that you have to look at? When you buy the comic or NFT on the VeVe app, they don't charge you any fees. But when you sell it, they charge you anywhere between 2.5% and 8.5%. I'll put some numbers up here. So here, let me get to my little spreadsheet here. So that means that, and the ones that charge more are the Marvel ones. And the ones that I purchased a bunch of were the Marvel ones. So I kind of found out that the hard way. So for example, if you bought one for 100 and then it moved up to 110, you're like, woohoo, I'm going to sell it and make $10. No, you're not, because with the 8.5% fee, you are going to probably make closer to, $1.50. So you have to consider all of these things, and then, but the it has to do with the licensing, of course. Everything's about licensing, but most of the NFTs on their platform, when you sell them, are at 2.5%. Marvel has some sort of special deal because Marvel is Marvel, and I'm sure they negotiated that so they could make more money. I don't know which other ones have that. I think it was rumored that 007, the James Bond ones, did. I would have too. But for example, I looked at the DC ones and they did not. So, better example, if you, of course, have, you're selling like Superman. Superman sells for $1,000, so maybe that would be a bad example. But, and you were to buy it and then it were to go up 10% and then you were to sell it, you would make almost all the money because it's only a 2.5% fee on top of it. So these are things you have to think about. So in terms of flipping, the Marvel ones are more difficult, whereas the DC and other NFTs are easier. Once again, specifically talking about the VeVe app here. Maybe in another NFT marketplace is different, but I think there's other fees in other marketplaces as well that you have to watch. So that's kind of the calculations that I'm doing. I have a spreadsheet that I've developed to help myself, so I know and can look at different prices. So for example, I know that this particular NFT oscillates, we'll just use it in my example, between 70 and 100. I know what fees are involved, and so when it gets down to 70, you would buy, and obviously you got to hang out and wait until it gets up to 90 or 100, and then you'd sell. Once again, if it happens once a day, that'd be exciting. You could make, less your fees, so you're going to make $20 a day, but these things don't oscillate that fast, and so that's one of the things I have developed as a spreadsheet. I'll be sharing that with you guys. That just kind of outlines everything so that if you buy it for this price, what would be target prices to sell. So I'll be releasing that. I just got to make sure it's right. And then, all right, sorry, my battery ran out. Rookie mistake. Anyways, basically, another spreadsheet that I'm working on is this, what I call the Sleepyn Desirability score. And basically, I calculate it's all kinds of calculations into the score. But basically, it's like, it looks at the percent profitability. So, for example, like Superman, it went out the door at 50 and now it's worth 1,000. So the profitability is very, very high. You look at the number minted. So if there's a really low amount of minted, then it calculates that. I look at the percent of people who are holding it. So in other words, let's say there's 5,000 of these NFTs available and 500 of them are in the marketplace. That means that there's 4,500 people that are not willing to sell theirs at this point. So I call that, the percent of people holding the NFT. And then I also do some analysis on the floor price and how that's been moving. So I'm not ready to release that, but that's another spreadsheet I want to put out there. And it's interesting though, because then you can see, using my score, and that's all analysis, right? You're looking at the score. So like, for example, the number one NFT in VeVe right now is this one called Donnie. There's 150 of them, and I think one sold for 70,000 gems, which is insane, right? So if I put this into my model, Donnie better shoot up to the top, and he does. Donnie, it's this little horse. It's ridiculous, but whatever. Someone loves it. A lot of people love it, obviously. Whereas in my analysis, and I don't have all the NFTs in here, the worst NFT with the worst Sleepyn desirability score is the DeLorean static common, or static rare, which is it's a rare one. It's the DeLorean, and it has, well, in my scoring system here has a 1.6, which is just meaningless. But that one, and it scores low for a variety of reasons, but one of the main reasons is because I think that when it went out the door, it was $70, and now it's selling for $50. So that one gets a low score. But what you can see is that there are some that, for example, they're ranking high, but certain elements of them don't match the others. So, for example, the Spider-Man one, ultra rare, which is going for $2,300, really expensive. But what's interesting is that it seems like, in comparison to others, it still has a relatively low amount of minted copies, which means even at $2,300, that specific NFT could be undervalued. So once again, these are some models that I'm trying to build. I don't know. Once again, as I always say to you guys, it's some Asian dude sitting in his basement. Do you want to trust what I have to say? I don't know. Probably is unwise. But once again, I hope it's entertaining. That's what I got for you this week. I hope you guys are having a great week, and I'll talk to y'all soon.